A very warm welcome to everyone. I am Divya Chavan Zatsak from Team Pune Climate Warrior. And I thank all the esteemed listeners who have found time for this very important subject, which is rivers and us. And this webinar is hosted by the Pune Climate Warrior. The core objective of this series is actually to get subject matter experts in the area of climate change and to have and start discussions on different aspects of climate change. It is also to inspire people to participate and take action to mitigate the different risks that we are facing, and of course, the way forward. But before we take the program forward and we meet our esteemed guest for today, I would like to introduce the Pune Climate Warrior program through a small introductory video. Yes, we all have to come together to make a change and to join a movement to address climate change. So today in the Pune Climate Warrior program, this month, in fact, September, we have the World Rivers Day on 24th September. And therefore, we are going to speak a lot on water. And when we speak about water, we of course can't stop speaking about rivers. And therefore, today we have the topic Rivers and Us. And who better than Shailaja Deshpande, who is the founder and director of Jeevitnadi, who is working tirelessly to save our rivers of Pune. So, welcome, Tai. But of course, before we hear her, let us look at what the wonderful work Shailaja Tai has been doing and Jeevitnadi has been doing. We welcome you, Shailaja Tai, for this very important topic. We welcome on the for the second episode of the climate series by the Pune Climate Warrior to speak on this very important topic, rivers and us. Welcome, Tai. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tai,
Thank you very much.
Tai, you've been working so much in this space of rivers. But before we move forward, I would like to understand, about rivers because when we speak about water, of course, rivers is one of the main important subjects. But we need to understand that rivers usually are taken for granted, and people do not really know the importance of rivers, which are there. So, can you explain the importance of rivers and the ecosystem? कारण नद्या म्हणजे नद्यांशिवाय आपण जगू शकणार नाही, पण त्याचं महत्व
अगदी.
आपल्याला कळणं खूपच महत्वाचं आहे. सो
येस,
प्लीज.
येस. अगदी बरोबर सांगितलंस. मी अगदी थोडक्यामध्ये एक्सप्लेन करते की व्हॉट आर रिव्हर्स. सगळ्यात महत्वाचं जर सगळ्या शाळांमध्ये आणि ऑल स्कूल्स मस्ट हॅव स्पोकन अँड लर्न्ड अबाउट द सिव्हिलायझेशन्स. सिव्हिलायझेशन शेवटी सेटल कुठे झाल्या, किती किती सिव्हिलायझेशन जर आपण लिस्ट केली तर चायनीजची येलो रिव्हरच्या इथे, नाईलची आपल्याला माहिती आहे, नंतर आपल्या सरस्वती रिव्हरच्या इथे सिंधू संस्कृती जी तयार झाली. सो हाऊ सिव्हिलायझेशन्स केम इन टू पिक्चर बिकॉज देअर वॉज अ रिव्हर देअर. आणि का ते झालं, सिव्हिलायझेशन कुठून झालं, तर जेव्हा आपण हंटिंग गॅदरिंग स्टेज मधून वी स्टार्टेड सेटलिंग डाऊन, वी स्टार्टेड having agriculture, and that's where the civilization started, and it started along the rivers. Though we have forgotten today about the rivers, they are there and we are here because they are there.
Yes, true. It is so important, rivers, and actually that we need rivers in our ecosystem. But when we speak about rivers flowing through various cities, but to understand ki apply rivers, especially those which we have in Pune or Maharashtra, what is different with them? Because I understand that they're not joining the glaciers, but
Yes.
so what is the difference between different rivers which are originated from different places?
Yeah. So can you allow me to share my screen so that I'll show on the PPT while I talk about it, so that will
Of
be
course,
easier. Yeah.
of
Give
course,
me a
it will
moment.
be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
see some
Yeah.
pictures and to see some different river
Yes.
pictures.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So here I am going to explain in a very, very simple language what exactly is river, but I am going to explain in three main categories: understanding our rivers, the challenges we are facing today, what is the root cause of those challenges, and how we can revive or rejuvenate these rivers. So let me start talking about as exactly the question was put by Divya. अगदी बरोबर प्रश्न विचारलास दिव्या, कारण हिमालयन रिव्हर्स आणि पेनिन्सुलर म्हणजे वेस्टर्न घाट्स मधून मेजरली आपल्या ज्या येतात, आपण जर भारताचा नकाशा बघितला, देन देर इज अ हिमालयन flowing rivers towards the north and northeast side, and then there are Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri basin, which all are originating from western ghats. सो तो जर ब्रॉडली आपण पाहिला, तर थोडासा फरक आहे हिमालयाच्या मधून येणाऱ्या नद्यांमध्ये आणि सह्याद्रीमधून. बिकॉज
Okay.
देन वी हॅव टू गो बॅक टू द ओरिजिन ऑफ सह्याद्री, हाऊ द Sahyadris or Western Ghats evolved, how the mountains came into picture, and Sahyadri mountain ranges or the Western Ghats जे आपण महाराष्ट्रामध्ये त्याला सह्याद्री म्हणतो, तर ते हिमालयापेक्षा जुने आहेत. जेव्हा गोंडवाना आणि लॉरेशिया हे मोठे अर्थचे मासेस सेपरेट आउट व्हायला लागले, त्यावेळेस सह्याद्रीचं निर्मिती झाली आहे. व्हाईल Himalaya is supposed to be the youngest mountain. So if you see the valleys, now सह्याद्री वेस्टर्न घाट मधून फ्लो करणाऱ्या नद्या ह्या बसाल्टला कट करून वाहतात. सो इट टेक्स फॉर देम टू क्रिएट अ चॅनल, इट टेक्स अ लॉंगर टाइम, अँड हिमालया हॅज बीन कम आउट फ्रॉम द टेथिस सी. त्यामुळे सी मधून वरती आल्या असल्यामुळे यू कॅन सी लूज थिंग्स विच आर coming down from the Himalayas, and that's why the V shape and the U shape, because they are scurrying and they are older. सो असं थोडक्यात जर आपण बघितलं, मग आपल्याला लक्षात येतं की व्हॉट एक्झॅक्टली इज द रिव्हर, द फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज, केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज, बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज, ह्या सगळ्याचं बॅलन्सिंग, अ प्रॉपर बॅलन्स बिटवीन ऑल दीज ऍक्च्युअली क्रिएट अ aquatic ecosystem which is a river. So what are the physical properties? Obviously the temperature, the rainfall, how is the geography, how is the geology, what type of rocks are there, फॉरेस्ट टाइप्स तिथे काय आहेत, त्याची टोपोग्राफी काय आहे, अँड ऑल दोज प्रॉपर्टीज कम. Chemical properties, which we classically know as the nutrients which come from the mountains, then there are various type of gases as well as the minerals. ते झाले केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज मध्ये. अँड बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफकोर्स विल हॅव अ flora and fauna, and it will change, this flora and fauna will change as per the temperature, rainfall आणि तिथलं जे काय वातावरण आहे. म्हणजे जो आपल्याला हिमालयामध्ये फ्लोरा दिसतो तो आपल्याला सी लेव्हलला दिसणार नाही. सो दीज थिंग्स change, and of course we come into the picture as humans, and we have not done anything other than polluting them. We have been extracting immensely, we have done lot of many problems. The list is ending. So if I quickly put what is a river, 3 फेजेसमध्ये मी तिचं डिस्क्रिप्शन देईन, की जी सोर्स रिजनमध्ये जिथून उगम पावते, तेव्हा ती वॉटरफॉल किंवा छोट्या-छोट्या चॅनल्समधून येते. Then when it comes into the floodplain, she creates a corridor, which is a center photograph. And when she meets the sea or ocean, she has distributaries. And when there, we call them as a delta. कावेरीचा डेल्टा, कृष्णा रिव्हरचा डेल्टा, गॅन्जेटिक प्लेन्सच्या बाबतीत आपण म्हणतो त्या डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करत जातात. सो सोर्स रिजन मध्ये शी टेक्स फीडिंग फ्रॉम द स्मॉल ट्रिब्युटरीज आणि डिस्ट्रीब्युटरीज कडून ती स्प्रेड करत जाते. अँड फ्लड प्लेन इज द सेंटर व्हेअर मोस्ट ऑफ द सिव्हिलायझेशन हॅव इव्हॉल्ड. आणि मग त्याच्यामध्ये काय असतं की ती वेगवेगळे हॅबिटाट्स क्रिएट करत जाते. अँड दॅट्स वाय द बायोडायव्हर्सिटी. शी मियांडर, शी क्रिएट्स potholes, she has rapids, she has wetlands, riffles, then she has sediments in different way. म्हणजे हिमालयात तुम्ही बघितलं तर मोठे मोठे बोल्डर्स दिसतात. थोडं खालच्या बाजूला आलं तर दिस सेकंड पार्ट विच यू आर सीइंग, पेबल्स, रॉक्स असे दिसतात. देन देर इज अ सँड अँड वेन शी मीट्स द सी देर इज अ सिल्ट, व्हेरी
Okay.
व्हेरी फाईन सिल्ट. ह्या सगळ्यामुळे डायव्हर्सिटी वाढत जाते. सो दिस इज
So
व्हॉट आय वुड लाईक टू एक्सप्लेन एज अ रिव्हर.
in fact, there's so many aspects. When we talk about the river, it's not just about how the river is flowing, how it is originating, but there is
करेक्ट.
also so much of biodiversity which is around it. So
येस.
many aspects actually one needs to see when we are talking about the river.
व्हेरी
And
ट्रू.
it's so beautiful when you talk about the river and the way it flows and the flora fauna around it. It's so
येस.
interesting actually. I think every person should need to study the
येस.
different aspects of the river.
या.
But as we talk about the rivers, we talk about the different aspects, and we know rivers can be so beautiful. पण
येस.
आता आपण जे बघतोय आणि जे तुम्ही पण म्हणाला की humans are actually causing a lot of pollution, and
करेक्ट.
whenever we look at river, of course there is a beautiful side to the river, but at the same
बरोबर.
time there's so much pollution also which goes into the river. So can
बरोबर.
you highlight the root causes that are damaging the river
Yes,
ecosystem?
yes. I will try to quickly highlight because we have to go to the root causes. Challenges तर आपल्याला सगळ्यांना तसे माहिती आहेत. पण सगळ्यात मोठा चॅलेंज असा आहे की ज्या नदीची, ज्या शहरातून जी नदी वाहते, the condition of the river tells how the treatment or the response of the humans are towards the river. If you see this Imgot River in Meghalaya, that is the one of the cleanest and nicest river, not only in India but in Asia. And it
Wow.
is in our own country, and it is our own Mutha River in Pune. So it depends, or it totally, we are the ones who are responsible for it. And then what are the challenges? Because we have never tried to understand आपलं जे पाणी आपल्या घरात येतं, बिकॉज वेन द डॅम्स वेअर बिल्ट वी लॉस्ट कनेक्शन, डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन विथ द रिव्हर. मला आता मटका घेऊन नदीवर पाणी आणायला जायला लागत नाही, मला फक्त फोन करायला लागतो किंवा व्हॉट्सअप करायला लागतं अँड द वॉटर अराइव्स इन माय होम. सो वी डोंट नो हाऊ द वॉटर कम्स, from where it comes, which river is giving this water, and after I use this water, how, what happens to that water and where does it go. If I try to, so these are the root causes which I am trying to put it, की सगळ्यांना वाटतं अरे हे इतकं पोल्युशन झालेलं आहे ना, फटाफटा मस्तपैकी सुएज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स बांधा, हे करा ते करा, इट विल सॉल्व ऑल द प्रॉब्लेम्स. Then beautification. People feel ki no, you create lovely gardens along that, and this is the answer. But basically, the main cause is we have no knowledge of the river ecosystem, how the river behaves, and there are laws, there are regulations, and rules is greatly lacking. आणि सगळ्यात महत्वाचे मी पहिल्या स्लाइडला दाखवलं, वी डू नॉट ओन आवर ओन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टुवर्ड्स आवर रिव्हर्स.
Truth, it's so important actually to understand that we are responsible for polluting the river. We are responsible towards because eventually the water is that we drink from the river. We are using that water for our needs. But Tai, you spoke about dams,
Yes,
but and there is a lot of debate on having dams, and of course we have so many dams which are existing. But
right.
has it really helped us, or how have the dams actually impacted the ecosystem?
Oh, it has greatly impacted because river is what? Nadila जी वाहते or which is a flowing water is called as a river. आणि ते flowing water we stop it 100% at some location. Maybe it is for our own benefits. We must have benefited. And why the dams also came into picture? Because we are monsoon fed. वेस्टर्न घाटमध्ये फक्त आपल्याकडे 4 महिने पाऊस पडतो, बाकीचे पूर्ण 8 महिने सुके जातात. मग आपण पाणी साठवल्याशिवाय आपल्याला पाणी मिळत नाही. पण स्टील दे हॅव बीन सम लॉज अँड रेग्युलेशन दॅट विच इज कॉल्ड एज अ एन्व्हायरमेंटल फ्लो. रोज त्या धरणामधून एन्व्हायरमेंटच्या यांनी कारणाने निमित्ताने 5% 10% पाणी नदीमध्ये सोडलं गेलं पाहिजे. इफ द वॉटर इज नॉट फ्लोईंग, the biodiversity, the flora and the fauna both do not function because the soil and water are very, very closely, intricately related with each other.
Okay, so can we say that dams, of course, are important, but at the same time, there is so much regulations. की मग
Yes,
त्याच्यामुळे we have to ensure that it is done up for those regulations because there's a
yes,
reason why it has been done. But
correct,
we are talking about dams. We are
right,
talking about building ecosystems around rivers so that we can be fed, or we can take the use of the river or the water for the
right,
rest of the year.
correct,
But
correct.
when we are talking about construction, because of course dams have been construction. The other construction, which especially those who are from Pune will know
Yes,
that about the riverfront development project, म्हणजे RFD.
yes, yes,
Of
yes,
course, those
yes,
who are not from Pune, maybe
yeah,
they might not know about RFD. But in RFD, basically, there are embankments which are being constructed around the river.
yes, yes.
What is your opinion that do
Um,
embankments need to be constructed, or what? Please tell us a little bit about more
yeah,
about this.
okay. I think I'll just take my slides a bit forward and I can tell you about that. I'll just go a little further.
There's so
So,
much actually. There's
yeah,
so
yeah,
much
so much to
information.
talk about, but the time is short, so we can just go back and forth on the slides. That should not be a problem to me.
Right.
But the project आता cities मध्ये काय व्हायला लागलंय की जे मी म्हटलं पहिली स्लाइड दाखवली की ब्युटिफिकेशन झालं की रिव्हर रिज्युमिनेट झाल्या, हे कुठेतरी कुणाच्या तरी माइंडसेट मध्ये बसलंय सिम्पली बिकॉज they see when they go to the foreign countries and they see that there are beautiful gardens, there are pubs and there are eateries and there are so many things a person can do about it. But people do not understand the same countries who created these riverfronts 100 years ago. This is a very old concept, 100 years old, after the World War II, which started. If you sell a part of river land, you can create some sort of a revenue model for the city. Out of that concept it started. आणि आता सगळ्या लोकांना कळायला लागलंय फॉर विच यू पीपल आर फायटिंग द क्लायमेट चेंज ॲज ऍक्च्युली इरिव्हर्सेबली तुमची जी काय सोल्युशन्स आणि इक्वेशन्स होती ती संपूर्ण टॉपसिटरवी झालेली आहेत. क्लायमेट चेंज, विथ द क्लायमेट चेंज पीपल हॅव अंडरस्टूड द रिव्हर्स हॅव टू फ्लो नॅचरली. आणि हाच कॉन्सेप्ट आता पुण्यामध्ये वेड्यासारखा येतोय, फॉर विच यू कॅन सी की आत्ता ते काय करता आहेत की नाईक बेटासारखं किंवा नाईक आयलंड सारखं डेन्स कॅनॉपी असलेलं आयलंड विच हॅज बीन इयर्स अलॉंग because the ecosystem had created this island. It's about 32 acres and 3 acres small island. So more than 34 acres of land within the heart of the city and in the rivers is getting disturbed and intervened. They are constricting the rivers by 38%. आणि आधीचा जो फौना, यू कॅन सी these numbers and the trees which are there on the left hand side. These beautiful trees are getting replaced by these embankments for jogging and running and many and these are going to be manicured gardens where these flora or fauna is not going to flourish because the fauna's requirements are totally different. And this is what exactly is happening into the our city, and many small cities are also going towards that, because this beautification has become, some sort of I don't know, in thing for every city कि beautify किया तो सब कुछ अच्छा हो जाता है, which is not the case.
Yeah, but actually, I think if we even beautify it by clearing the waste which is there in the river, I think it's already so beautiful with so much, biodiversity around it.
Yeah,
Rather than making into a canal. But
very true.
like this, was there any other project which was done in India, and has there been
Uh,
any success story before, or so that.
in India, there are not many projects. There are been small examples of reviving the rivers, which are mainly done on the tributaries, where the people or the community has come together. But if you talk about the countries outside, yes, there is a Kissimmee River in Florida which is under restoration. There is a LA River which is under, they are removing the concrete and going back to the restoration of the river. The Thames River, everybody knows about it. Now they are also opening their places and public gardens to daylight those rivers in Paris for Seine River. New York Bronx River restoration is happening on a major scale. So if I list down, I can literally give you a big list. Korea has done a lot of river restoration programs. China is much ahead of us in restoring their own rivers. They are creating sponge cities in China. Now, if you know,
Okay.
our neighboring countries are doing so many efforts in restoration and revival.
So that means restoration does not mean that building concrete walls.
No,
It
no,
just
no.
means cleaning, or
Yeah, yeah. I will give you the next slide and explain what is the restoration means. Whatever is there, you conserve. Whatever has been lost, you try to restore. When you have a cultural heritage, because the uh, civilization settled along the river, and Pune is blessed with so many cultural heritages as well as the natural heritage, so you revive them, you remediate. Where the visual experience is bad, you can do a little bit of beautification. But regeneration happens naturally if you give a support to that ecosystem. See, plantation जर तुम्ही केलं ना, झाड लावलं, तर त्याचं दुसरं पिल्लू किंवा रोपटा आपोआप तयार होत नाही त्या मॅनिक्युअर्ड लँडस्केपमध्ये. पण इफ यू सी द फॉरेस्ट आफ्टर द मॉन्सून, यू सी द regenerating saplings automatically growing into that forest. So that regeneration needs to be done, retrofitting whatever has been lost. So you redefine the whole thing in such a way that the restoration or revival of the rivers is possible. आणि मग लोकलाइज कंडिशन्स. सो एक्झाम्पल आपण पुण्यामध्ये बघितलं तर कल्याणी नगरचे लोक आणि विठ्ठलवाडीच्या लोकांचं नदीकडे बघण्याचा आस्पेक्ट वेगळा असू शकतो. कल्याणी नगर, place like Kalyani Nagar has settled in a new form, whereas along Mutha the civilization has been prospered. So the people will have a different opinion about their type of a stretch along the river. So you create a flowing river channel without any, uh, obstructions, create pathways in such a way that they do not obstruct. You create some waterfalls or wetlands along that. You elevate those existing temple complexes, create a heritage board about it, and tell the history to the people or the students or the schools what this heritage means to you. Riparian zone, which is a forest along the river bank, which is how we can create these forests. Address the wastewater in the wetlands, which are, they call it as a phytoremediation or बायोलॉजिकल ट्रीटमेंट त्याच्यामध्ये देतात, जास्त जास्त नॅचरल ट्रीटमेंट त्याच्यामध्ये असतं. आणि मग सगळ्या पक्ष्यांना, माशांना लागणारे हॅबिटाट्स किंवा अधिवास असे निर्माण करणं, की त्या पक्ष्यांची, त्या माशांची, त्या छोट्या मोठ्या बेडकांची, त्यांची गरज काय आहे, कशामध्ये ते राहतात. बेडूक दलदलीच्या जागेत राहील तर त्याला दलदल लागेल थोड्याफार प्रमाणात. इफ यू वॉन्ट टू रिव्हाइव्ह द इकोसिस्टम्स, यू क्रिएट दोज habitats, and then you create some sort of a area for the usage of community also. So you balance between the community and the conservation areas. That is the river revival. That will be the true sense.
They truly, habitat revival of habitats is, or focusing on keeping those habitats intact is so important.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but of course, a little, though we are talking about rivers and us, but what are the other issues of water as well we need to address, or we need to ensure, while we are talking about rivers, we're talking about RFD, but even water, म्हणजे groundwater, what are the different aspects around water or around
Okay.
river which we need to really focus on,
Yes.
right?
I will quickly explain you those aspects, but I think we have a little time to explain.
Yes,
So
yes.
if
So
you
just
see,
really quickly,
yeah,
what are
I
the
will
key parts?
क्विकली गो थ्रू दॅट की जिथे नदीमधून पाणी येऊन फिल्ट्रेशन प्लांटला जातं, आवर फिल्ट्रेशन प्लांट्स, अँड दॅट्स एक्झॅक्टली आय आस्क्ड यू की आपलं पाणी कुठून येतं आणि कसं येतं, त्याचे पॅरामीटर्स काय आहेत. So there is a lot of lime, alum, and chlorine is poured into those filtration plants to purify that water. Then the chlorine also is used for the STPs, which you are seeing at the bottom, and in between there are direct outfalls of the drainage which are entering the rivers. And chlorine is one of the biggest culprit for the aquatic fauna as well as health of us. म्हणजे क्लोरीन जर जास्त झालं आपल्याला परमिसेबल लिमिट्स पेक्षा, तर आपले ऍसिडिटी हे मायनर प्रॉब्लेम आहे. पण थायरॉइड्स, इन्क्रीजिंग थायरॉइड्स इन विमेन, cancers, various type of cancers, chlorine is the culprit. So when you use the technology, you have to make sure what type of technology you are using. Then you are blocking the life springs which are there by lot of interventions which happen. तुम्ही फ्लडलाईनला रिस्पेक्ट करत नाही, नदीचं पात्र केवढं आहे, नॅचरली केवढं आहे, ती जागा नदीचा अधिकार आहे, ती सोडत नाही आपण. आणि इफ यू सी दिस इज डाऊन टू अर्थ मॅप, बट दिस इज क्लासिक एक्झाम्पल. महाराष्ट्रामध्ये सगळ्यात देशातल्या पोल्युटेड रिव्हर्स आहेत, अँड वी शुड बी अशेम्ड अबाउट दिस, दॅट most progressive state and most polluted rivers in our own state, which is not a good sign at all. So for that, is the industry, agriculture only responsible, or science has proven that domestic pollution is 70% in the rivers? And in
Oh,
the city, from domestic sector in Pune, place like Pune, every person, the type of chemicals every person uses is about 40 grams. This has been researched in our own laboratory, National Chemical Laboratory. So today's population, if you take 50 lakhs, we are pouring 2 lakh kilo kgs of pollutants every day in our rivers, and we say the state of the rivers is bad and government is not doing anything about it. So, what are those pollutants which start from your toothpaste to your mosquito coil, where you are not using any biodegradable or closer to nature products? And you can see number of grams which are there on the table and number of chemicals which are there into each and every this product, which amounts to 120 number of chemicals. And we all know कि पानी, water is a universal solvent. Whatever you put, it will get mixed, and what chemical formulas it will create, nobody knows. And so सगळ्यात महत्वाचं, दिव्या, मी सोल्युशन कडे येऊ का, सो दॅट क्विकली
हो,
आय
हो,
कॅन
ऑफ कोर्स. म्हणजे मी
4
तेच
minutes.
म्हणणार होते की
हा,
व्हॉट आर द सोल्युशन्स, कारण
या,
वी ऑल्सो नीड टू
करेक्ट,
अंडरस्टँड द वे फॉरवर्ड. वी हॅव टू
येस,
हॅव अ पॉझिटिव्ह आउटलुक.
ऍब्सोल्युटली,
काय आपण करू शकतो टू
येस,
एन्शुअर
येस.
दॅट. save
सो
the river.
आता हे तर आम्ही गेले 10 वर्ष हे वेगवेगळे प्रोग्राम्स करतोय, की जे मी आता तुम्हाला रिव्हर इकोसिस्टमचं बोलले, तशी मोबाईल एक्झिबिशन स्कूल्समध्ये होऊ शकतील का? वी टेक रिव्हर वॉक्स, नेचर वॉक्स, बायोडायव्हर्सिटी वॉक, बर्ड वॉक ड्युरिंग द मायग्रेटरी पिरियड. आणि जे मी सांगितलं, की ह्याला सोल्युशन, जे एवढं पोल्युशन आपण करतो, त्याचे वर्कशॉप्स ऑल्सो वी डू. into regular workshops we do, then adopt a stretch which is closer to your place. You start taking care of that river at that location which is geographically close to you. तिथलं मॅपिंग करायला सुरुवात करू शकतो आपण. बायोडायव्हर्सिटी काय आहे बघू शकतो, रिव्हरची हेल्थ कशी आहे वी कॅन मेजर. देर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स विच यू कॅन डू ऍक्च्युली, अँड दीज आर द स्ट्रेचेस वेअर people come there 1 hour for the river throughout the year except the monsoons when the rivers get flooded. सो ह्याच्यामुळे व्हायला लागलं काय, जिथं जिथं हे स्ट्रेचेस अडॉप्ट झाले ना, तिथं वेगवेगळ्या गोष्टी चांगल्या दिसायला लागल्या. द स्ट्रेचेस स्टार्टेड लुकिंग क्लीनर. नंतर गव्हर्नमेंटची एंगेजमेंट वाढली, ऑफिसर्स यायला लागले, वेगवेगळे प्रोग्राम्स करायला लागल्यावर पीपल स्टार्टेड पेइंग अटेन्शन, चिल्ड्रन स्टार्टेड कमिंग. सो अशा बऱ्याच गोष्टी होतात. आणि म्हणून असं वाटतं की ॲज पर द आर्टिकल 51A we have to rethink, we have to refuse certain things like wasting of the water or using toxic products into our daily life. रिड्यूस काय करता येईल, जर आपली एक लिस्ट केली की ह्या गोष्टी मी नाही घेऊ शकत. दरवर्षी मला मोबाईल नवा हँडसेट घ्यायची आवश्यकता आहे का? दरवर्षी सॅक, आय नीड टू हॅव पर्सेस ऑफ डिफरंट कलर्स, डू आय रिअली नीड देम? आपला वॉटर फुटप्रिंट कसा कमी करता येईल? हाऊ, what we can reuse again and again and repurpose, what we can recreate, रिसायकल काय करता येईल. अँड ऑफकोर्स ॲट होम यू शुड स्टार्ट कंपोस्टिंग युअर ओन. हे माझ्या घरातलं आहे की मी सगळं ड्राय वेस्ट, नथिंग गोज आउट ऑफ माय हाऊस बिकॉज आय कॉम्पोस्ट माय वेट वेस्ट अँड आय सेपरेट आउट. जर माझ्याकडे वॉशिंग मशीन आहे, माझ्याकडे मायक्रोवेव्ह आहे, तर माझ्याकडे एका ट्रॉलीची एक कॉर्नरची जागा पण असली पाहिजे वेअर आय विल सेपरेट आउट माय वेस्ट अँड मेक शुअर दॅट इट गोज फॉर द रिसायकलिंग. अँड आय विल यूज सच products which are good for the river.
Yeah. So, Tai, I know there's so much actually as a community, as because we are working with so many schools and colleges, not everybody coming and even adopting a stretch. I think that will also
Yes,
be wonderful. Or even societies coming together,
yes,
uh,
yes,
housing societies coming together, adopting a stretch. I think we all can make a big difference. And
yeah,
even at individual level, I think, each one of us need to make sure that we save each and every drop of water, and then that's how we will
yes,
be able to also save our river. So thank you
absolutely.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful insight. And this topic is so long that I
Yes.
think we can go on and on
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about it.
true, true,
But
true.
due to the paucity of time,
Yeah,
we will, of course, get back with. So I'm sure that everybody will have so many questions,
yeah,
but we will be happy to get them on the chat box, or you can email it to us on puneclimatewarrior@gmail.com, or also write to Jeevitnadi. You can see their website, and you can connect with the Thais organization who works relentlessly to save the rivers. So thank you so much, Shailaja Tai, for finding time to address our concerns. Your valuable
thank you.
insights, guidance
Yes,
to risk mitigation about rivers would really help us a lot. And on
thank you.
behalf of Pune Climate Warrior, I would express a deep gratitude that we have for guiding us, and your work really inspires us, to save our rivers. So
Thank you.
thank you, and yes,
Yeah,
have a good day. And uh, moving on to the festive season, I think we all need to pledge to save our rivers and ensure that
yes,
we don't pollute it.
yeah, yeah. So I'll just quickly stop sharing in case it is no more required. I can
Yes.
be open for the question answers.
Yes, it's all
Yeah,
yeah, we're not
yeah.
seeing this sharing scheme. If anybody has questions in the audience, we'll be happy to take them. Or then you can always write to us at puneclimatewarrior@gmail.com, or even write to Jeevitnadi as well. I think, Tai, we don't have any questions at the moment, but if
Okay.
anybody writes to us, we will surely get back to you and we'll ask the list of questions which we have.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, climate warriors, for giving this opportunity to Jeevitnadi. We will be really, really happy. And one line I will definitely add, की मी जे सगळ्या slides दाखवलेल्या आहेत, this is not a theory. For last 10 years, we are incorporating in our own lifestyle, and it is possible. Change is bit slow, but we have to start taking baby steps ahead. So with this, I will conclude, and thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And we will all take baby steps to save our
Yes.
rivers.
Yes.
Thank you, Tai.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, all viewers. Thank you.